There are dreams painted with the ambition to change the world. And there are dreams, no matter how grand, that can still be forgotten in the flow of time. Welcome back to Top 10 Discoveries Official. I'm James. Today we will explore China's billion-dollar mega projects that were once expected to shine brightly, but ultimately became symbols of failure. 1. Once expected to become the new symbol of China's urban landscape, Xiang'an, a $93 billion mega project, now stands eerily silent. Launched in 2017 under the directive of President Xi Jinping, Xiang'an was designed to ease the burden on Beijing and transform into an advanced economic, technological, and administrative hub, attracting over 2.5 million residents. Spanning an area of more than 2,000 kilometers, 3 times the size of New York, the city was envisioned as a center of technological innovation, home to major corporate headquarters. To bring this vision to life, the government relocated hundreds of thousands of residents and built a modern infrastructure system, including office skyscrapers, high-speed transport networks, and high-tech zones. Chinese officials once hoped that Xiang'an would become the second Shenzhen, a powerful economic growth engine like the southern city that boomed in the 1980s. However, unlike Shenzhen, which flourished thanks to foreign investment, Xiang'an was born amid economic decline, an aging population, and escalating trade tensions with the West. Despite plans to make Xiang'an a leading tech hub by 2035, numerous obstacles remain. The government has imposed strict regulations to curb speculation, but people remain reluctant to relocate. State-owned enterprises were deployed to the city, but their presence is largely symbolic, with little substantial activity. This vast metropolis seems to be waiting for an influx of people that never arrives. Xiang'an was once a dream, but today it serves as a bitter reminder of the failure of grand ambitions. The dream of an advanced megacity, a modern symbol of China, remains unfulfilled. Xiang'an still stands, silent amidst towering buildings devoid of people, a looming question mark over its uncertain future. 2. Not just Xiang'an, numerous other mega projects across China have also fallen into ruin. In Shenyang, the luxury villa project Estate Guest Mansions, once envisioned as a high-end urban development, now stands as nothing more than empty shells of houses. Developed by Greenland Group in 2010, Estate Guest Mansions was expected to be a lavish complex featuring a golf course, a convention center, and luxury hotels. However, just a few years after construction began, the project was abandoned, leaving hundreds of unfinished villas overtaken by weeds, eventually becoming grazing land for local livestock. Evergrande, once China's leading real estate empire, also succumbed to disaster. When it defaulted in January 2024, the company left behind 800,000 undelivered apartments, plunging millions of people into despair. The Chinese government, which once relied on real estate as a growth engine, now faces massive consequences. Over 20 million sold but never completed apartments. Trust in the market has collapsed. Citizens have lost their life savings, leaving behind nothing but bank debts and an uncertain future. Projects that once carried the ambition to reshape China's landscape have now become mere ghosts of the past. From Xiang'an to Shenyang, from Beijing to Shenzhen, all are sinking into decay. No more dazzling dreams, only the chilling silence of buildings never inhabited, streets without a single soul. This is not just the end of a development model, but the shattering of a belief. 3. Next, let's visit a project that has faded into oblivion, a so-called ghost city. About a decade ago, China harbored ambitions of building a mega metropolis in Southeast Asia, transforming Malaysia into a regional gateway, much like Dubai in the Middle East. This project, known as Forest City, was launched in 2014 by China's largest real estate developer, Country Garden, with the goal of creating one of the world's most advanced smart cities. The scale of Forest City was truly astonishing. Spanning 30 kilometers, twice the size of Los Angeles International Airport, it featured 4 artificial islands with a total investment of $100 billion. The city was envisioned to house 1 million residents, boasting luxury skyscrapers, an intelligent transportation system, international schools, high-end hospitals, and a PGA standard golf course. Cutting-edge technologies such as drone security, renewable energy systems, and vertical green spaces were planned to establish Forest City as a model for future urban living. The Malaysian government hoped this project would boost the local economy, create hundreds of thousands of jobs, and attract a massive influx of Chinese investment. In the early years, tens of thousands of apartments were sold, primarily to Chinese buyers, thanks to attractive incentive policies. Forest City was expected to become a symbol of China's economic strength on the global stage, a borderless megacity for the world's elite. Yet this dream quickly crumbled. By 2023, only 15% of the project had been completed, with fewer than 1% of the anticipated residents actually living there. Of the 4 artificial islands, only 1 had begun construction, and even that remained unfinished. Forest City now resembles nothing more than a ghost town. Towering skyscrapers stand in darkness, devoid of life. Wide roads stretch empty, devoid of cars. Shopping malls, restaurants, and hotels, once filled with promise, now sit abandoned or shuttered. The interiors of apartments remain untouched, yet no one moves in. Many areas have had their electricity cut off to reduce operational costs, while for sale signs hang unchanged for years. The primary cause of Forest City's downfall lies in its flawed strategy of build first and people will come. Property prices were exorbitantly high, $170,000 per unit in 2017, while the average home price in Johor was only $60,000. In 2017, China tightened capital controls, restricting citizens from transferring more than $50,000 abroad annually, halting the flow of investment. At the same time, Malaysia imposed visa restrictions on Chinese homebuyers, further paralyzing the project. Additionally, Forest City faced serious geographical and environmental challenges. Located far from Johor's city center, it had only a single road connecting it to the mainland. In 2023, a landslide disrupted this route, cutting off transportation for days. Land reclamation efforts also severely damaged the marine ecosystem and mangrove forests in the Johor Strait, sparking widespread controversy. Meanwhile, Country Garden, the corporation behind Forest City, is now grappling with a severe financial crisis. Drowning in debt, many of its projects in China are teetering on the brink of bankruptcy. With no financial backing from its parent company, Forest City has been abandoned, with no entity willing to take responsibility for its completion. On the market, its apartments are being sold at losses of up to 50%, yet still, there are no buyers. Once a proud testament to China's ambition for global influence, Forest City has now become one of the greatest real estate failures in history. The question remains, can Forest City ever be revived, or will it remain a deserted ghost town adrift in Malaysian waters? 4. Located in Inner Mongolia, Ordos was once envisioned as a modern megacity, often referred to as the Dubai of China. Have you ever heard of Ordos, Inner Mongolia, a grand dream now buried in dust? Ordos, situated in China's Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region, lies atop one of the country's richest coal reserves, with an estimated 149 billion tons, accounting for nearly 1/6 of China's total coal deposits. Thanks to this abundant resource, the region's economy once experienced a massive boom, with per capita GDP reaching $34,000 in 2011, almost 3 times the national average at the time. Recognizing its vast economic potential, local authorities decided to transform Ordos into a modern urban center, not only to accommodate residents, but also to serve as a new symbol of prosperity. A massive urban development project was launched with an investment of up to $161 billion. A brand new district, Kangbashi, was built from scratch, aiming to attract over 1 million residents. Skyscrapers rose in the desert, luxury shopping malls, universities, museums, and an extensive road network were designed to support a bustling metropolis. The government also invested in a 2.5 million square meter public square, grand civic structures, and cutting-edge infrastructure on par with the world's most developed cities. At the height of the real estate boom, property prices in Ordos soared to $6,300 per square meter, surpassing those of many major Chinese cities. However, reality did not unfold as planned. Despite its near-complete infrastructure, residents never came. Property prices were too high for most locals to afford, while job opportunities were not attractive enough to draw workers from other regions. The Ordos real estate market quickly collapsed as the speculative bubble burst, leaving thousands of vacant apartments. By 2016, the occupancy rate in Kangbashi was only 2%, and despite various recovery efforts by 2020, the city still housed only about 100,000 residents, far below initial expectations. Gradually, Ordos turned into a true ghost city. Vast boulevards remained empty, high-rise buildings stood in darkness, and desert winds continuously swept dust over deserted streets. It became one of the most striking examples of the consequences of uncontrolled and overly rapid development in China's real estate sector. The failure of this ambitious project had repercussions beyond Ordos, affecting the entire regional economy. Investors faced massive losses, while local authorities struggled with the financial burden of unprofitable developments. Ordos, once an ambitious dream of a lavish city in the heart of Inner Mongolia, is now little more than a forgotten wasteland, swallowed by dust and time. 5. If Ordos was once envisioned as China's Dubai, then Ujiapu was meant to be the Manhattan of the East. Launched in 2009 with an estimated total investment of 200 billion yuan, approximately 30 billion, Ujiapu was expected to become a financial hub on par with Wall Street and Manhattan. In 2009, China initiated the Ujiapu Financial District mega project in Tianjin, aiming to create a financial center rivaling Manhattan. With an investment of 200 billion yuan, $30 billion, Ujiapu became one of the most expensive real estate projects in the world. The district was planned to include 47 skyscrapers, including the 588-meter Ujiapu Tower, over 3.86 million square meters of office space, and a 17 billion yuan, $2.5 billion subway system directly connecting the area to Beijing. However, more than 15 years later, that dream has collapsed. Today, 90% of the buildings in Ujiapu remain unoccupied. Many structures, though completed, have failed to attract businesses. Even the district's tallest building, the 588-meter Ujiapu Tower, once envisioned as the city's landmark, stands completely empty. The failure of Ujiapu extends beyond abandoned buildings. It has had severe economic consequences. Tianjin's government debt has exceeded 800 billion yuan, about $110 billion, with much of the money funneled into failed real estate projects like Ujiapu. Property values in the area have plunged by over 70% since 2015, leading to widespread investor bankruptcies. Nearby shopping centers have shut down en masse, and residential areas remain deserted, as there is no demand for housing. Ujiapu has become a symbol of the failure of rapid development without real demand. Grand yet empty skyscrapers, wide but desolate roads, what remains are mere relics of a hastily pursued dream, buried by the very haste that once fueled its ambition. The once highly anticipated billion-dollar megaprojects have now been reduced to darkness, desolation, and unanswered questions. And there are still other projects, grand ambitions that have now been left behind. Do any of these mega projects leave an impression on you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for the next episode, where we'll explore more unfulfilled dreams from around the world.